Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Relentless recap. And I know you guys are going to see that bigger red on the screen, and it's going to say, Relentless Trader, what happened, man? What happened to that small red day that you were aiming for once you realized things were going south at the end of the live stream? Guys, I fumbled the bag. Mission failed. Mission failed. Mission failed. Great day, all things considered. I followed my rules. I traded, I would say, all right. I did make some mistakes, but this turned out to be a very impressive day. Let's take a look at some of the stocks that we traded here. ARDX, this one we're green on 172. We'll come back to this. BHC, which maybe was the best stock for the last 2-3 weeks, and I completely fumbled the bag. We had CTMX, which is one of the ones we had earlier in the morning, which I would say was pretty decent. We got in on our pullback trade too high. And INM, which unfortunately we kind of got a little too tunnel vision, and it took one split second, one bad decision, and boom, $300 gone in the blink of an eye. INM. KPRX, we were up, I think, $40 at best. This one, not really much to go over. Actually, no, this one does have a lot to go over. So this recap will probably be about 25-30 minutes. Let's jump right into it, as we do have a decent amount to cover. Let's start with this one, KPRX. This one was called out in Discord, I believe, and was not looking bad. Now, we did have two topping wicks. I did notice this early, but I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. Our green volume going up wasn't bad in relation to our red volume coming down. You guys know I love to look at the volume bars in these particular situations. And so it was pushing up. High of day was at 750. I'm watching at it in this area here. Attempted a quick scalp trade, or maybe it was a dip trade after the move up, but didn't quite really get to see a lot of gains. This is where I made that $40 in at 23 out of 28. Only a couple cents, nothing crazy. Right here I'm watching at it. And this is when we have now this pullback over here. And this is a little dicey because this is the third pullback after all, right? Look at the volume. Look at the volume here. And, you know, I'm like, okay, we had a strong candle going up. We attempted the highs. It's essentially a double top. And so I'm like, all right, if we're gonna take this trade, we can't look for high of day again. You know, that was the first thing. It's like high of day is probably out of the question, right? So I'm like, all right, if I'm in, can I see a bounce? And it's a little risky because it is the third pullback as mentioned. This did have a topping wick. You know, we did have a bottoming wick at 10:04, but this topping wick here had a lot of volume. Maybe I could have even avoided this trade looking back at it. I'm in at 708 at these lows, and I was waiting for the bounce. It rips up to 70. It goes down to 702 at first, 701. It bounces up to 09. There's a lot of buyers coming in on the bid, about 16,000 shares. But then maybe someone sold 100 shares and the order vanished. I'm like, okay, nope, I'm out of there. Came out flat essentially, and then it curled up. It gave the push I was looking for. 720s, 725 for the high, and that was it. But high risk trade because it was the third pullback. Like I said, this is a trade we probably could have avoided because ultimately the best move was already gone on this thing. You know, in this first push up, and you can see how it came down aggressively, but then held the pullbacks. Aggressive drop, held, aggressive drop, held, aggressive drop again, and held on the dips. Maybe some scalps over here, but a lot of topping wicks towards the high. So you can see the high of day trades could have been dicey. All right. By the time I'm looking at the stock and try to trade the lows, we're already too far into the move. Essentially, I'm trading it here where it's like, okay, backside. So, you know, this is where the short sellers are really, really killing it, right? I can't remember if this one was easy to borrow or not. Right now it's saying hard to borrow. But look at this, right? This is where if, you know, you're watching one stock, sometimes watching one stock is a blessing because you really get to get in tune with the stock. You get to understand how it's moving. You get to feel everything. And, you know, you get the personality, you know? And so if I'm watching at this, I'm pretty sure I would have been able to notice the short in this area because guess why? Topping wicks initially, it does double top, and this is a bounce. This is a bounce to then re-short. Well, not re-short, but short if you're not short already. And so between the range of, let's say 730, 738, we had a low here of 25, high of 35, low of 27, high of 35. This right here was the short, right in this bubble here. And then Titanic. This could have probably scared you a little bit if you saw it bouncing up fast and aggressive. But other than that, if you do hold towards high of day, this is good money. You know, a longer hold time would have been necessary, but you know, it does. I mean, even now it's kind of still going down. So that was the first stock that I'm going to go over. Let's see what's next. BHC will go over last. ARDX. Let's talk about ARDX. This one, you know, it wasn't bad. I caught a good trade. There was somebody buying shares here at 81. And I need to react faster. I need to, like, once I see something, I need to, like, just take the trade and not even worry about, you know, like, I'm thinking too much in some of these key areas. I'm thinking too much. I noticed there was a buyer. As soon as green, because it was selling. As soon as green starts to hit that tape, I needed to be in. Instead, what I tried to do, it bounces. I'm hoping it does retest the level here at 82. It did. I only got 999 shares to fill, which wasn't good. And we can pull this up on the archives for you guys to see here. I can see everything. I can see it all, and still end up red. Really crazy. Here we go. What time was this? This is not a bad trade to take a quick look at here. 9:36. Actually, we can keep this on. 29, 36, 42. We're a little far ahead. Hold up. Well, it looks like I took it. Did I take it off screen? It looks like I took it off screen. So by the time I'm switching over here, I'm already in the trade. I'll have to open up the other one. I'll leave this open in case I need it for later. Let's open up the other one. And there's two separate videos. And this is the other one. So we gotta skip ahead to 36. So here we go. It starts to and we can go back before. Like, look at this is how I'm gonna notice there's a buyer here, right? Watch this. So look at the tape. There's obviously a buyer sitting here. There's obviously a lot of shares sitting here. Let's not say buyer. Let's just say shares. There's people sitting here with orders, right? Okay. But I believe at one point there was a lot of red going through, and it was not budging. And it was lingering at this level for a few minutes, or maybe at least like a minute or two. And it's kind of how I know. So you see all that red right there, red, and this person is just buying back. You see how this order here is not budging. It's not budging. This first order at the top, 40,000. It goes back to 41. It goes to 37. Is it going to go back to 41 again? 28, 30, 29, 30, 29, 30. You see all this red is going through. 29, 29, 29. I should have already been in this trade. I should have been in 9,000 with a 1-2 cent stop. Easy, simple. Why am I not in this trade if I realize that there's somebody buying huge? You know, and this is the thing that comes down. This is what it comes down to, right? A lot of the times I notice some of these entries, and when the stock is below a level such as VWAP, and you know, let's say maybe it's pulling back on the day, because if we look at the context of the stock right here, it has sold off a lot. And it's down. It's below the 187 level that I have. It's, you know, kind of below 175. Well, not below, but right at, you know, slightly above 175. Maybe it can break down. And so I think I'm too used to trading stocks that are going up and then dipping versus stocks that are going down and then curling up. And it's like you gotta notice the subtleties and just take the trade, man. Like, just take the trade. Like, what was the worst thing that could have happened here if I'm long? Even if I don't want to take 9,000, I say, hey, 3,000. The only way I can feel any sort of pain is if this goes from 80 to 70 in the blink of an eye. If not, I can sell 77, 78, take a 1, 2, 3 cent loss. Who cares, you know? It's like the risk could be limited if I'm quick to sell if it's to come down. And you can see there's now 34. So this person is just adding back, adding back, adding back. 50. Look at that. Look at this. 50. Now it's back at 53, even higher from the level of 42. I think we'd started earlier, and it's like, oh my goodness, this person is just buying. Institutional buyer. I mean, I don't know. That person was just buying. It's back to 22. Look at this. Look at this. It's still not cracking. It's still not cracking. It's back up, and somebody might have been short right there and covered, or maybe somebody bought on the market big. But look at that. Like, this is so obvious. It's not cracking. It's not cracking. This is where it should have cracked. Right here with all this red. Like, look at that. You know, orders are 6,000, 5,000, 5,000. You know, like shares are going through. Shares are going through. Shares are going through. 8,700. Look at the amount of selling, and it's still holding. It's still holding. And then, you know, boom. That, I mean, wow. I mean, you know, it doesn't get any more obvious. It is a little bit tricky, but even if I go in with the starter, and right here, 82, you can see, so I throw out the order out on the bid as fast as I could right here at 82. And this is the thing, man. You know, right here, I don't know how high this can go. I really don't. I think in the back of my mind, 85, 86, maybe 87. If we're lucky, we can probably see 90. So it's like, if I think this can go to 85, you know, I don't want to buy. If I buy market right here, I'll be in at 83. Guaranteed they'll fill me at 83. And it's like 83, although it's not that far away from 81, it's also very close to where I'm trying to sell. And so it's like, I want this. This is only 1 cent. But this is the bad thing when a stock is so limited in the range. If this is a $10 stock, maybe it can go from 10.82 to maybe 11.20. You know, versus this stock, it's like maybe it just goes up 5 cents. And so it's like the pennies, it does matter to some degree. And it's like right here, I'm going to try to get filled. Can we see some sellers? Can we see some sellers? 82. Wait, and did I cancel the order? Oh my god, I see even worse. I don't know. Let's see. Did I cancel? It looks like yep, looks like I canceled. Even worse. Even worse. Even worse. And so right here, you know, maybe I could get lucky and get a fill. Well, actually, my order was at 83, so I'd have been filled. I'm gonna put it back at 82. This is where I'm gonna only see. Ah, man. You know, sometimes the days just, you know, it's just so frustrating. Anyhow, let's skip ahead. There's 86. If I could have been in at 83, 3,000, and then added, you know, or maybe I should have just bought market at that point, because between 82 and 83 is much more desirable, you know, versus being in on that higher fill. But anyhow, it happened. I didn't quite get the entry I wanted. I didn't quite get the size that I wanted. You know, very small size. I had sold half at 86 just to be safe, and I think I sold the rest. You know, I added aggressively here at 85. Okay, so more buyers came in. I felt like it was holding high. And this is a dangerous trade. This is now a scalp trade in a very limited. So this makes no sense, to be honest, if I'm to be very blunt. Here's why this makes no sense. The entry at 83 would have worked. This would have been more worth the size closer to support. This is the thing with the breakout trades, that you can get blinded if this market is hot to the point where this can go to 95 and $2, you know, with no problem, then it's not a bad trade. But being that, you know, I'm thinking, man, oh, maybe 87 if we're lucky. It's like, why take on this type of size this high up? Because this now is much closer to 87 and can flush. It's like too much risk, too high. And I think I went aggressive. Did I add to this? Let's see. Yeah, I did. I added to that like crazy. Yeah, see, it's not a good trade. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's also not good. It's just too much risk. It's too much risk. I needed to be in 9,083 and then my stop at 81. Like, why am I this aggressive, this high? My average is 185.94. Let's say 186. Let's round that up, 186. What happens if a big red candle comes and I'm now stopping out at 180? Just it's not a good trade, man. Green is coming in, yes. It's moving up, yes. But it's just too risky. It's just too risky. It's too high up. It's too high up. This is the scalper inside of me, though. You know, it's like there's the scalper still inside of me to think that I can still get great trades like this, and this stock can go to 90, 95, and $2. But it's wishful thinking right now. Wishful thinking in this market. Ultimately, I'm going to sum this up as a poor trade. I don't care about this gain that we had there. Poor trade. Just terrible, terrible trade. All right, let's move on to the next stock. That we got to avoid, man. What's the sense of going in 9,086 when I could have went in 9,083, where I'm closer to support? And that's what I need to realize real time. Like, once that dip down, just buy. It's only 2 cents, 3 cents above the support. At least you think it can go to 87. There's 6 cents of potential profits, 3 cents of risk. Just buy. And to be honest, that 82 levels to take the place to take 20, 30,000 shares. Buy like until I can't buy anymore, because and you see, that's exactly how you can utilize size. Not what I just did there. That's how you utilize the size. As soon as the support shows itself, you buy aggressively against the support, and you just live with the outcome of the trade. If it happened to go from 83 to 81, I stopped out, or 79, I stopped out. Oh, so what? A quality trade. Not taking too aggressive of a position, high like that. It's like, come on, man. All right. So you can see the mistakes. That's going to be a green trade, but it's not really a good trade. All right. Okay, that was ARDX. We ended up giving back profits as well. I think we took like 2 more scalps or something, and then we lost a little bit off the top. I can't. Let's see. I mean, we can. This recap will probably be a little longer, but we can check out those trades. I think it happened like, so it dips down big, and you see this is exactly the thing I'm talking about. Like, I could have been in at 87 like I was, and this could have just flushed down. It makes sense. It makes sense. And then this is where exactly right there, because it comes down so fast, you know now, okay, more than likely there's going to be a bounce here. And this is where you can take that trade, 82, and I think that'll be a better trade. So I'm in at 84, even kind of, still kind of high. See, and look at that, 82. It's why I'm going to get a loss, is because it's just too high. Like, it's too high compared to where, like, it's like I'm forgetting where support is after the stock barely went up for 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds later, I forgot where support was. Like, come on, man. Come on. This is why I need to do the recap every day. Like, this is some sloppy trading, man. It's exactly why I'm going to have a losing trade. So let's see. I missed the bounce. I tried to go back in, 83. Looks like I'm in at 84, and we take a loss. Yep. This is at 81, and now it seems like it could be potentially failing. But even if I wanted to give that trade a try, it's the better area in terms of where support is. I can't remember if we were holding 80 or 81 earlier, but anyhow, now we're on the backside. If this can bounce to 85 again, it's a great trade to go short, in my opinion. And it doesn't look like it bounced up. It just went down first. Yeah, it went down first. But yeah, man. So not happy with that. Not happy with that. Not happy at all. Moving on. What else did we have? INM. INM towards the end of the stream. I think this was on the main screen. Was it? Terrible loss, man. Terrible loss. I was down 130. Look at this thing. I tricked myself into thinking this stock was looking good. Yesterday's high. Let's go back a little bit more for context. Yesterday's high was at 472. So look at this. It's moving up, right? 42 by 44. And, you know, I see the spreads are kind of big, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. 45 by 49. And then, you know, it's like it starts to inch up. It starts to inch up. 48 by 50, 50 by 54. I'm seeing volume just continuously coming into it. 52 by 53. Spreads are getting slightly tighter. 53 by 54. And right here, I'm like, you know what? This thing might just go right through 70. I'm like, if it breaks 60, it might just go right through 70. Look at this. As soon as I see 60 on the ask, I'm going to take it. In which case, you know, like, why even wait for 60 if I'm going to... Like, I don't know. The psychology sometimes behind these trades are kind of skewed. What makes, in this type of situation, what makes 60 better than 54? Nothing, if you really think about it. But boom, I see 58. There's a small buy. Well, not really a buyer. I thought I saw 20,000 shares there. Real time, I didn't think I saw that. I didn't think I see 20,000 shares. Right now, I'm like, okay, all right. But 2,000 shares, small size. But anyhow, 60. What I'm looking at, and then boom, I'm in. Can we continue to see green for that push? 65, 70. Watch this. And there's 40 on the bids. I'm like, yep, gotta cut it. So that happened at the end of the stream, from red 130 to now red 440 because of this nonsense of a trade. And you know, I don't know. When I saw 58, I didn't think it was looking weak yet. So I'm like, you know, kind of let's see what it wants to do. I'm thinking maybe 54 for a stop. And it's like, boom, 40. Doesn't give any chance. And right here, you know I'm going to get filled on the bids. It's almost impossible for me to get filled 48 and save 8 cents. It's near impossible. And then even the bid drop, the ask price drops down anyways. So that happened at the end. That's how the day went. So at this point, you know, I was red 312, green 170, and then red on the other, which other one? CTRM. Okay, CTRM. Okay. Ay, man. So we started off the day kind of sloppy. This trade, instead of being a 172 gain, or at the time it was a 240 gain, should have been more of like a 450 gain if I was in at the right place, selling into the highs, right? INM, as mentioned, was towards the end of the live stream. And in between those two trades, we then had CTMX. Now, CTMX, let's pull up this one. Time 44. I kind of skipped over this one by accident, but here we go. 44, so we'll have to come back. 58. Perfect. Here we go. I noticed this thing looking a little strong for the breakout. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. So I'm in 2,552. I'm going to take this off the table very quickly. And yeah, scratch trade essentially. This is where the sequence is about to start. I think I'm going to give it another try. What was that? A limit order? A market order is going out. Okay. Where the heck is the fill? What was that? Wait. What was that? Thinkorswim. What in the world was that? Why is it showing You know, these screens are kind of small and everything, but why is it showing that? Why does that look like that? Okay, that might have been a limit. Okay, that might have been a limit that might have been canceled at 52. So I noticed that green is coming back in, so I took the trade here. It's stronger than I expect. I get in just for a couple of cents. It happens to be much stronger than I thought it would have been. Watch this green. That burst of green hits the tape long. 54, 55, 56, 57. I sold 56. 56. And it goes all the way to 60. Let's see. Let's watch that back again. I'll let it play. Okay, 57, 58, 56 on the bids, 56. I don't know why I'm not aggressive to take 56 right there. Instead, I take 58. Well, 59 essentially. It's yeah. That was such a poor. Wait. That was such a poor trade, man. This is so sloppy. Yeah, and the second buy was an accident. I didn't mean to hit the buy button twice there. Yeah, I didn't mean to hit the buy button twice. Today I had a lot of like hotkey mistakes as well. I don't know. I don't know why I kind of, you know, my finger a little heavy. The first order is at 58.91, which is already crazy high. This basically a fill at 59. Yeah, that was not good. I sold one to reduce my risk in case it was going to fail. And how's the second trade going to play out here? I took a loss. Just pathetic. Come on, man. You know why? Because look at this, right? Once this goes, boom, 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 boom. 57, 58. It stalls. It starts to stall out right here. It starts to stall. Stalling. 59. Hold on. Gotta go back a little bit more. Alright, here we go. 53. 54. That's where I got back in the first time. 57. It stalls out at 58. It drops 56. There was red coming. It's just, right here. There's what I need to do is avoid this trade, because from 58 we don't really pull back. We hit 56, and we didn't really had a lot of selling coming in, and now it's back 57 by 58, and there's a lot of green and red coming in at the same time, making it very uncertain as to if we should get a push over 60. So it's like me buying here is just me being very aggressive. This is for a hot market. This is not for this type of market here. That particular, because you know 52 is already pushing it, but I would say it's decent because it's now making the new high of day. But this is already high. It's like right here I need to wait for the pullback, like a proper pullback. Can this pull back, you know, properly? And I think that's exactly what's gonna happen to me. So you know, it's a sloppy day. It's what it is. It's a sloppy day. Can't put it any other way. And look at this. So let's see. VWAP is at 52. There's 56 on the bids. 55, 55. I do take 55. Yeah. This was a tricky one, man. This was tricky though. But the trades, I would say some of those scalp trades were sloppy. So I'm in 55 on the bids. Right, decent entry. Now, over the last couple of days, what I've been doing is if I'm in low and I think the stock is going to go lower, I sell, and then I try to buy back even lower. But what's been happening to me on some of the trades is that I've been missing the entry because I've been selling. Like, let's say if this goes to 54 and then bounces immediately, if I sell right here, it's going to be hard for me to get that entry and, you know, be able to ride the move to the upside. So what I decided to do was just, okay, have this be the starter and just add, and it's not going to work out well here. Okay, I'm out of this one scratch. All right, so let's see how this goes. I can't even remember. Let's see how it goes. Let's watch. 54. So I took 54. But are we going to bounce here? 56. 56. I am watching Hive Day, which is why I'm not selling, but 54 again. So are we going to see a new low? And okay, I think that's what's going to get me. Because it starts to linger here for some time, 55, 54, 55, 56 even. I thought it based out, and I got comfortable thinking that it was the low. So okay, all right, I'll give myself a pass for this trade. Now, on the other hand, the other way to look at it, right? You can't be perfect in every trade, so I'll give myself a pass for this one. But the other way to look at it is like, okay, hey, Hive Day's at 59. You know, do we want to be super heavy here? Because VWAP is at 52. We could potentially pull back 52, maybe even 51, maybe even 50. Hive Day from 54 is only a couple cents, 5 cents away. Do you want to be that aggressive this close to the highs, essentially? Despite us having 2 red candles, do I want to buy this aggressively considering how close we are to the highs? Especially since the move on CTXM, the move here started, like if we erase the show trades on this charting here, the trade started, this setup started, let's say, down here from 142, let's say 143. From 143, we made a high of 159. And I bought this because you got to look at the bigger picture as well. I think that's how I could have potentially been a little bit more cautious. But, you know, I'm not going to give myself too much of a hard time because I'm watching the level 2 aggressively here. But from 143 all the way to 159, you know, 154 isn't enough of a pullback for that type of move. I should have, you know, maybe been considering VWAP. And, you know, look at VWAP is at 52 at this time. We go all the way down to 47 before this thing looks to bounce. And I did hold through. I don't know what my average was. Let's check. All right, let's watch this play out. Guys, I'm gonna start posting these archives. So what I think I'm gonna do, I don't even know. A lot of people might not even be watching to this point, but 51. So I'm adding. I'm in 9,000 size, and I think it's gonna hold right here. It is gonna go down some more though. Watch this drop. Boom, 47. If it flushes here, I'm in trouble. Will we hold? I'm gonna look at this and like, and I'm gonna see like, okay, it's not really bouncing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take some size off here. I sold 3,000 to reduce my risk. Can we bounce? Can we bounce? Can we bounce? It's not bouncing. I'm like, okay, I'm out of this trade. So I'm down 359 right there on CTMX. And, you know, 47, you know, 47, man. 47 was the lows. So I've seen the worst of it. I got out and then it bounces up and, you know, man. What I can say is that it chopped me out, but maybe I could have been looking at the bigger picture of where the move came from to try to better anticipate where the pullback could go and not be too caught up on level 2 holding the area of 54, 55 for a little bit. Because that selling is going to come and it's going to come heavy. And usually, you know, like you guys saw just now, I'd sometimes sell this position and then buy back. Yeah, but anyhow, to finish that thought of what I was saying, right? You know, I can't post the level 2 to the YouTube stream anymore during the stream. So something else that I was also thinking about doing here on the channel was creating YouTube members, right? YouTube members is a way to support the channel, support your favorite YouTuber. And I was thinking to upload these archives for the members. I think it makes a bunch of sense. So I'll probably talk about that in the stream tomorrow. I got to make sure I write it down, actually. I can talk about that in the stream tomorrow when we have everybody present. Because, you know, only the tryhards are watching to this point of the recap. Most people have watched the first 5 minutes. Hey, Archie's down 600. They're out of here. the tryhards are the people who are going to make it. So if you're watching to this point, make sure to type tryhard down in the comments below. Also, is my head in the way? This is going to be a long recap, boy. Yeah, so the trade played out like that, and it's going to curl here. 54, 55. Give it a chance. It's going to curl. 55. It's going to take a couple of minutes, but, you know, it's going to curl. And you can see, I even with some scalping in there, you know, I took 51, 6,000. We are going to make some money. We sold half, and I believe we're going to sell the other half. 55, and then we're going to be all out 56. 54 or so. So we made back something off those lows, and then we had a loss somewhere. But, you know, the best thing would have been, if I could have anticipated the pullback would have been lower, can I be in 9 to 15,000 shares between 47 and 40, let's say 47 and 50, you know, and then be selling up here into the highs. If I'm in this 12,000 shares, you know, like let's say 49, right here I'm up like 550, 600 on the trade. Maybe even more. We can do the math. 9,000 times, actually, yeah, probably a little bit more. 9,000 times 0.08. Yeah, 720. Be up $720. So, you know, it's like, when I do see some red, especially like how we lock it up and we came up for a $300 loss, like it's not really that bad, because once we can connect with these trades, then we'll see some better winners for sure. Okay, and this trade was terrible, man. I'm in a high. You know what? I gotta keep in mind that we're in a weak market here. This was high of day entry, and high of day trades are only going up 2, 3, 4 cents and then coming back down. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. So boom, I'm in 3,000 at 59. Just like how you guys saw me take those quick scalps earlier. Hey, in and out, in and out. That's what I should have done here. I don't know why, like, I started holding this trade for it to make a bigger move. Like, well, I don't know what I was thinking here. I don't know what I was thinking. But I do try to sell half, and by the time I think about it, it flushes down on me. I should have already sold. There's 62. I should have already sold. And you can see I would have brought my gains back down to, like, nothing. Instead, I get caught because it just, you know, somebody sold a big position now. Somebody's going to sell big here. And boom, I'm in at 56. Just absolutely unbelievable, man. When I saw 62, it gave me confidence to think 65 was going to happen, and it's just not the case. So this drop caught me off guard, and I had to lock in the loss right here. Trading. Could have been down $90 throughout that sequence. Damage control, great recovery. Instead, no. I ended up down 270 because of not selling that position. Just awful, awful, awful. Terrible. So you can see that, you know, I gave myself a legit chance. But I'm a little too sloppy. I'm a little too wild on some of those trades. And I have more live archives. Hold on, I'm not done yet. This one. This is not all of this stock, because, you know, I kind of realized, okay, I want to record this because it's so strong, but by the time I really started recording, it was kind of late. I mean, this thing was so strong. I mean, it's really ridiculous that I'm red. It was so aggressive, and I mistimed the dips, the early dips in the move up right here. I mistimed. If I connected properly, $500, $600, $700 on this move up, guaranteed, because even with 1,500 shares, it was so strong, man. 10 cents. It was giving 10 cents like nothing. You just have to be in at the right area. You could have made 15, 20 cents on the bounce. 10 cents, easy. But I mistimed my trades, and that's what really got me. And, you know, I was thinking about posting this, but I want to fast forward to some dips that came. This one I was watching, but it was a little, like, hard to capture, very fast. But let's look at the 5-minute candle here. This particular trade, I told myself, you know, 82 was possible. Previous high of day, I believe, was at 79, right? Not 82, 80s. Previous high of day was at 79, and I'm like, okay, it's possible we see mid 80s, low 80s. I mean, if I put on the audio, we can probably hear myself. I don't know which part of the video I said it, but I said it. Pull back a lot when it pulls back. Let's see if we can find it. Ay, was that it? It wasn't as aggressive there. Time candle's about to close in 20 seconds. That might have just been it, 88. I didn't want to be too hasty, but it seems like 88 might have been the lows there. It's possible, depending on, I'll feel it out depending on how level 2 minutes to go. 1.7 versus 1. I still wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to low 80s, high 70s. Maybe even mid 80s, high 80s is possible. Depending on, I'll feel it out depending on how level 2 is looking. I'll look to still get long in the trade. If not, I can watch for potential scalp opportunities. It's to pull back a lot when it pulls back, so I want to be careful. It likes to pull back a lot when it pulls back, so I want to be careful buying. So about 40-50 seconds or before this drop here, I'm like, we could see high 80s, mid 80s, high 70s, low 80s potentially as well. But I see high 80s here. I mentioned, okay, if it comes down, I'm going to try and feel it out. But the way how it pulls back, and I'm not as aggressive, and you just have to go for the trades, man. You have to just go for the trades. And this is going to curl up to 8, like, I mentioned I could have sold that trade at like 805. But it's going to go, Sometimes you sell a little early to take something off the table to put yourself on the scoreboard, or even if you're red, to try to lock in something, you sell half. I wouldn't even be mad. Usually when you are red, though, it's like you still want to treat the trade the same, of course. But, I wouldn't blame myself for locking in a little bit of profits. It curls up. I try to scalp. No good. And let's see. I tried a dip here. I can't remember what quite happened on this dip. I don't know if it worked out super well. No, that was a loss. It's going to come down here again. And I don't think, yeah, it bounces. So remember when I said high 80s, low 80s, mid 70s, high 70s, whatever it was, right? All that stuff. High 80s, mid 80s, low 80s, high 70s. I wanted to see, and see, this is the thing with the timing sometimes. Like, I already know exactly the zones of where we should pull back. But what makes it complicated now is that it tested high of day and only went to 87 here. This dip was to 90. This one was to 87. And this one, this dip was so fast, I had no chance. This one I could have gotten in at 90 if I wanted to, if I was more aggressive. Here, this is the perfect pullback, but it's too late. And now it's coming with a topping wick as a essential triple top high of day rejection. So although we're on a second pullback, I would still consider this one big pullback. The test of the highs, I think, does matter. If this would have went to 80, let's say 805, 810, and would have came down like this before going to the highs, I'd have been much more, like right here, I'd have been buying, man. I'd have been buying. Right here, I'd have been buying. It comes down perfectly. It pushes up to 91. I believe it got back to like a high of 8. There's 801. But mind you, this isn't the best place to be seeing this pullback. So it is a weaker. It does work out well, but it's much weaker. And I think 801 might have been the highest we got. 803. I think it failed right there. Short sellers got in, and I think it was essentially done, if I'm not mistaken. It's I'm gonna it's only a matter of time before I start connecting again. I'm right there. I'm literally there. Just gotta cut out a little bit of the sloppiness and just be a little bit more sharp, a little bit more focused. Trading is hard. Trading is hard. You gotta pay attention to so many indicators at the same time, but it can be done. I've done it, and I can do it before. I've done it before, so I can do it again. And so I'll continue to fight, continue to be relentless. It does not feel nice, though, to know that you know so much of the field, of what to expect, what should happen, and then you don't get the desirable outcome. So it's a testament, $700 red. And I did break a rule, if you want to say. The $300 loss was kind of like, the $300 loss was so like unpredictable and like almost like a fluke, if we want to call it, right? Because I wasn't looking for more than like a 5-cent loss in terms of risk. So I took 15 cents more than I would have wanted to. What could have just been like an $80 loss, tight stop, $50 loss, became $300. So it's like I didn't really feel like I was red on the day, if that makes sense. Like I was, but mentally it's like I kind of had one slip up. Like I felt great mentally, and it's like I'm not really viewing myself as very red on the day, despite being down 400. I was down 130. I mean, even 400, the number of 400 doesn't like faze me. It doesn't scare me in any way. And so when I saw how strong this one was, Relentless Trader's optimistic. Nothing in this world can tell me on a move like this I'm not going to be green. So what do? 1,500 shares to start. I didn't start small. I didn't cite that video. I already had losses here, which is then why I said, okay, I got to size down, which shows, of course, I'm still in my control. So it was a conscious decision, in which is like, hey, this thing is aggressively strong. We haven't seen one like this in a while. Let's get to it. There's no time to waste with small size here. But ultimately, it is going to come back to bite me in the behind, because I ended up having red trades to start. So, this thing was good though, man. I was impressed. We started off at 691, and I saw it on this candle here, early hitting the Momo scans. Just a shame to not do well. Right here, I thought it was finished, so I did ignore it over here. I think Mighty took a trade in this dip. He barely got chopped out, and then it ripped. It happens, man. Trading. If this pullback here comes here, more than likely I get a great trade on the dip. But we'll do better. Good study, good review. We'll improve. I'll talk more about the YouTube memberships tomorrow. Guys, it's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.